Alright, so today's notes are simple events and its complement. Okay, this is probability. So this is probably the easiest part of probability. First, we need to be able to simplify each fraction. We did this before. So let's just go ahead. Remember, our magic numbers are 2, 3, and 5. See if you can multiply the top and bottom number by either 2, 3, or 5. Okay, so it says simplify each fraction. This 4 over 5. This one, we can't divide it by 2, 3, or 5 because it's going to give us, so our answer just stays 4 over 5. Okay, the next one, 18 over 24. This is pretty big numbers, but we are going to see first if we can divide it by 2. The top number, yep, it's even, so yeah, they can be divided by 2, but I know that 18 can be divided by 3, 24 as well, so I'm going to just divide the top and bottom number by 3. So 18 divided by 3 is 6, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. Looks like I can still make this smaller. Why? Because the top and bottom numbers are even, and I can divide the top and bottom by 2. So let's make that smaller one more time. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, now I think that's my smallest. I'm going to stop there and box my answer. Okay, the next one is 20 over 35. This one, if you remember, this one can be divided by 20, but 35 is not an even number, so I don't think we can divide by 2. 3, same thing. Well, you can't even divide by 20 with 3 because you'll get a decimal. But 5 has a 0 and a 5 at the end, so we can divide that by 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4, and 30 divided by 5 is 7. Okay, I think that's it. We're going to stop there. So just make sure you remember your rules and to see if you can make those fractions smaller. So our first blank is probability. Probability of an event measures the likelihood that the event will occur. Because we are going to measure what something could happen. A simple event, that's the next one, is when there is only one outcome for the event. Okay, so let's look at example 1. Example 1, we got some shapes here. It says hearts to total. Okay, so what that means is you want to see how many hearts out of the total number. Okay, so it's hearts to total. Let's see, we're going to count the hearts first. We got 1, 2, so it's going to be 2. We're going to put this in fraction form. There's 2 hearts, and my total, that means I'm going to count up all of the shapes. That's going to give me my total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 over 6. You got to simplify it. You got to make it smaller. I'm going to look at my magic numbers. I can divide the top and bottom by 2 because they're both even. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. I'm going to stop there because that's my answer. It's the smallest I can go. Okay, the next one, it says unshaded to total. So I'm just going to go ahead and start my fraction. My unshaded, so the unshaded is the ones that are not colored in. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put the number 4 on top. And then to my total. What's my total? How many shapes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, this is both top and bottom are even numbers. I can simplify this. I'm going to go ahead and divide my top and bottom number by 2. That's going to give me 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And it looks like I can go smaller one more time. So I'm going to divide again by 2. Top and bottom number. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. And that's it. Okay. So now they're just giving us numbers here. It says 5 blue marbles, 4 red marbles, and 6 green marbles. It's asking how many blue marbles. So again, we're gonna have to set up this fraction. So on top is what it's asking for. It's asking for blue marbles. So I'm gonna put B for top, and on bottom is always going to be your total, okay? So how many blue marbles were there? Well, it says there was 5, so 5 goes on top, and then I have to find my total. Again, the total is everything added up. So I'm gonna have to add up these 3 numbers here. So I'm gonna add it on the side, 5 plus 4, that gives me 9, and then plus 6. 9 plus 6 is 15. I'm gonna put that on bottom. I can already see that this can become smaller. I'm going to either divide by 2, 3, or 5. I'm going to divide by 5. So I get 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. So it's the smallest I can go, and I'm going to box my answer, okay? You are going to do number 4. It says, what is the probability of choosing a circle? So when you make your fraction, you're going to see how many circles that number is going to go on top over your total, okay? So you're going to write your fraction right here. Make sure you see if you can simplify it. You can make it smaller. Go ahead and turn it over on the back. Now this is the second part of the notes. We're going to see its complements. So the complement is the probability of an event not occurring, okay? Whenever you see the word not, that means it's its complement. The probability of an event and its complement have a sum of 1, okay? So that means that if it's asking for, let's say, 3 out of 4 are blue, this right here is how many are blue. But because I know that there's a sum of 1, if I were to subtract 1 minus 3 over 4, my complement, which is not blue, so it's everything else, would be 1 over 4. Because if I add these two fractions together, I would get 4 over 4, and it would be the sum of 1. Okay, you'll understand more when we go into example 5. Example 5 says, what is the probability of landing on an A? Landing on an A. So what we need to do first is we need to write our fraction. Okay, it's asking for A, so I'm going to put A on top, and on bottom is always total. I'm going to look at this spinner right here. I'm going to circle all of the ones that are A. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to put the number 3 on top, and I got to find my total. How many total sections are there? Okay, I'm going to do this in a different color so you can see it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 total sections here. That is my total. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I can't make this any smaller. Nope, and that is my answer. Now the second part of this question is asking, what is the probability of not landing on an A? There goes that word not, so that's its complement. So you can either do this 2 ways. You can either subtract this fraction by 1, or you can just go ahead and count on this circle how many are not A. I'll do it in a different color. I'm going to circle everything that's not A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I'm going to set up my fraction. I'm going to put not A on top, and I'm going to put total on bottom. Bottom is always total. Okay, I'm going to write my fraction. So I said there were 5 that were not A, so I'm going to put 5 on top. And my total is still the same. It's just how many sections there are. There were 8 sections. Okay, I'm going to see if I can simplify that. 5 over 8. Nope, that's my answer. Okay. Again, if you were to put these two fractions together, this is why they're called complements to each other. Because if I added 3/8 plus 5 over 8, if you remember your rules, your denominators are the same, it stays the same. Then you just add the top. 3 plus 5 is 8. That would give me 1. That would give me the sum of 1, just like it says up here. Okay? So the next one, it says, what is the probability of landing on E? So I'm going to look at my spinner over here. I'm going to put my fraction. I'm going to set it up. It's asking for E, and on the bottom is total. Okay, so how many E's are there in this circle? I'm going to just circle 1 because I only see 1 E. So I'm going to put the number 1 on top. Now I'm going to find my total. How many total sections are there? So I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There are 8 total sections here, so 8 goes on the bottom. I cannot make this any smaller, so that is my answer, 1/8. Again, the second part of this question is asking, what is the probability of not, there goes my keyword again, not landing on E? So I'm going to set up my fraction and put not E on top. And I'm going to put total on bottom. Okay, so my total, I already know it's going to be 8 because I counted earlier. My not E's, let's go ahead and count. I'm going to do it in a different color. I'm going to circle everything that is not E. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my answer is going to be 7 are not E. Okay, I cannot make that any smaller. I'm just going to box my answer. Again, I know that these are complements to each other because if I were to add 7 plus 1, I would get, if I add these two fractions together, I should get a sum of 1. 7 plus 1 is 8, and my denominator stays the same. So 8 over 8 is equal to 1. Okay. All right, so the check-in. You are going to do the check-in. This is an actual question on the STAR test. It says a student has set up cards. Each card has a picture of one shape. The table shows the number of cards that have a picture of each shape. The student will randomly select one card from the set. So these are my cards and these are the shapes. It says what statement is true. Okay. So this one, we don't know what shape it's asking for, but we can look at our answer choices and see which one it's talking about. It says the probability of landing on a picture of a circle. Okay, I could look through B, it's talking about a circle. All right, so that means we're going to be dealing with the circle here. Put a star next to it. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to write your fraction. We're looking for a circle. That's going to go on top, and total is always on bottom. Okay, so I see you're going to put the number of circles on top, and you're going to add all of these numbers here to get a total. Okay, you're going to put that number right here. So after you do that, make sure you simplify. See if you can divide by 2, 3, or 5. Okay. When you get your answer here, after you simplified, you're going to see which one it matches. Does it match to 5/8? Does it match to 3/8, 1/5, or 4 over 5? That's going to be your answer, whatever you get here. Okay? Go ahead and finish that and come see me when you're finished.